We're now going to look at dividing when there's negatives and using trailing zeros. Now hopefully you've remembered from last time, and you might want to write a little note about it to remind yourself again that when you multiply and when you divide, negative signs always come in pairs. It's the same with multiplying and dividing, the same rule applies. I'm not going to spend loads of time on it because we learnt it last time, but let's just have a little look. If we had negative 633 divided by 3, well, negatives have to come in pairs. I've just got one negative sign here. I'm dividing, they must come in pairs, so I know my answer's got to be negative, and from my drill I already know the answer is 211, so it's a negative 211. Okay, for B, likewise we're dividing, so negative signs come in pairs. There's only one, so the answer's got to be negative, and I already know from my drill that my answer is 28, so it's negative 28. And again for C, we're dividing. Remember this division bar is another way of showing division. A negative divided by a negative, I've already got a pair, so I don't need another negative. It's going to be a positive answer, and I already know from my drill the answer is 119, so it's positive 119. Very simple, multiplying and dividing, negative signs come in pairs. All right. Now going to move on to the slightly trickier part. So let's have a look at this first example. You might want to take some notes. Let's see what we're going to do. So 682 divided by 8. As before, 682 divided by 8. We've got our dividend, 682, and our divisor, 8. First question we ask ourselves, how many 8s go in 6? Well, none. And your whole 6 is remaining. How many 8s go into 68? 8 8s are 64, so you've got a remainder 4. How many 8s go in 42? 5 8s. But then we'd have a remainder of 2. So what do I do with my remainder of 2? At primary school we just write R2 and that's fine. Now the most common mistake is people think it means 0.2. That is not correct. Please don't make that mistake. But the point is a good idea. So what we do is we put on what's called trailing zeros, because 682 is the same as 682.0 or 0.00 or 0.000, and you could go on forever. So if you pop 2 or 3 zeros for now, and that's going to help you out. These zeros are placeholders. They don't mean anything. They're empty places, but they're somewhere for you to put these remainders. So we said we had a remainder 2, so I put my 2 there as usual. 8s into 20 is 2, remainder 4, and 8s into 40 is 5. So that's it. 85.25 is my answer here. So the key thing here are these trailing zeros, which are going to help me out. Let's try the next one. My dividend, different this time. I've got a negative dividend, but a positive divisor. That's okay. Before I do anything else, I can just think, I've got one negative, but I'm dividing, so they must come in pairs, so my answer is going to be negative. Now I can ignore them. Right, 742 divided by 3. 3's into 7, twice, remainder 1. How many 3's go into 14? 4, remainder 2. How many 3's go into 22? 7, remainder 1, but again we don't put remainder 1 like that. We're going to put some trailing zeros. Okay, so put my 1 there. 7's into 10 is 3. Don't forget you've got to put a decimal place up here. But I've got remainder 1 again, which is 3, remainder 1. If you notice, this is a pattern. It's going to go on forever and ever and ever. It's going to be 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, forever and ever and ever. We call that recurring, and you can just put it as 247.3 recurring, with a blob above the 3 to say this 3 is going to go on forever and ever and ever. So the really key thing is, if you still have a remainder when you get to the end of the number you're dividing, you can put some zeros at the end as placeholders, but in this case you must put decimal here because we don't already have a decimal, and we need to show that these aren't actually worth anything, they're just placeholders. If I didn't put the decimal, this number would change from 742 without the decimal to 742,000 all of a sudden, and that's not okay. So we just need to have 742.000, as many zeros as you might need. Have a go yourself using these trading zeros.